Hi guys, it's me, Josh, and welcome to the 10th episode of TakaTAX. For this episode, we're going to talk about tax forms. There are many tax forms that online sellers must file to the BIR. Remember, the tax forms that you are required to file and pay is indicated in your BIR Form 2303 or Certificate of Registration. And in this episode, we're going to discuss them one by one. First off is the Form 1701 or the Annual Income Tax Form. Form 1701 has two types, 1701Q, which is filed from the first to third quarter, and 1701, which is filed on the fourth quarter. Who is required to file for BIR Form 1701Q? First, a resident citizen engaged in trade, business, or practice of profession within and without the Philippines. Second, a resident alien, non-resident citizen, or non-resident alien individual engaged in trade, business, or practice of profession within the Philippines. Third, a trustee of a trust, guardian of a minor, administrator of an estate, or any person acting in any fiduciary capacity for any person where such trust, estate, minor, or person is engaged in trade or business. How do you compute your income tax? Ang amount ng income tax na kailangan mong bayaran ay depende rin sa tax options. For example, if you're earning 1 million pesos purely from your business and your annual income is included in the 8% flat income tax rate, this is how you compute your income tax. But if you use the graduated income tax rate instead of the 8% flat income tax rate and you have opted for the optional standard deduction or OSD, this is how you compute your income tax. Remember to check the trade income tax table. And if you opt to use the graduated income tax rate and the itemized deduction inside of the OSD, here's how to compute your income tax. What if you are a mixed income earner? Meaning, ang source of income mo is a mix of business income and other forms of compensation. If you are using the 8% flat income tax rate, this is how you compute your income tax. Here's a handy guide for your income tax deadlines. Important to note that Forms 1701 and 1701Q is for individual taxpayers. May ibang form para sa income tax ng partnerships and corporations. The next tax form is Form 0605. This form is used to pay taxes and fees which do not require the use of a tax return like installment, payment for income tax, deficiency tax, delinquency tax, tax registration fees, penalties, advance payments, deposits, installment payments, and others. It is also the form used for renewing your business registration. Mag-review muna tayo ng steps for renewing your business registration. First is go to the BIR Revenue District Office or BIR RDO of your business and submit the filled out Form 0605. Ang RDO is the city kung saan located ang business address mo. The officer will check your form and compute for the fees na kailangan mong bayaran. Para mabayaran mo ang fees indicated sa 0605, you need to go to an authorized agent bank. Take note that 0605 is paid every January. The BIR does not issue a new certificate of registration, but you still need to file for a renewal for as long as your business is running. The next tax form is Form 2551Q. This is used to file for your percentage tax every quarter. Percentage tax is a form of business or sales tax. How do you know if you need to file Form 2551Q? how do you compute for your percentage tax? Here's a guide for deadlines of filing percentage tax. Next tax form are forms 0619E and 1601EQ. These are the forms used to file and pay for expanded withholding tax. As mentioned in the previous episode, 0619E is for the first 2 months of the quarter. 1601EQ is for the last month of the quarter. For example, in the last quarter of 2020, you should file 0619E in October and November and 1601EQ in December. How does expanded withholding tax work? For example, kung withholding tax agent ka and kailangan mong magbayad ng 25,000 pesos monthly rent sa landlord mo, you withhold 1,250 pesos and just pay your landlord 23,750 pesos. You give your landlord a Form 2307 so that he can claim the 1,250 pesos as a deduction he pays his income tax. What is Form 2307? BIR Form 2307 is called the Certificate of Creditable Tax Withheld at Source. This certificate shows the income subjected to the expanded withholding tax paid by the withholding agent. Download a copy from the BIR, fill it out, print out 2 copies, and have your payee sign as well. Here's a handy guide on the deadlines for filing expanded withholding tax. And lastly, the Form 2550M and 2550Q. Basically, itong mga forms na ito ay ginagamit sa pag-file ng VAT or Value Added Tax. The Form 2550M is a separate form that is used in the first 2 months of each quarter. And 2550Q naman ang ginagamit for the quarterly filing of the initial 2 months and the data for the 3rd month. Who needs to file VAT forms? If a person who sells or leases goods or services which are subject to VAT, or if the amount of your actual gross sales exceeds for up to 3 million pesos, or if you are a person who imports goods, you are required to file VAT forms. Again, naka-indicate sa BIR Form 2303 or Certificate of Registration lahat ng forms na kailangan mong i-file as an online seller. Here's a handy guide on the deadlines of filing VAT forms. And that pretty much covers tax forms. This has been Josh, and stay tuned for more episodes of TakaTAX, kaalaman at usaping tax para sa online sellers. See you!